Hi everyone and welcome to Lipstick on a Rig. Today we're going to be making this super simple beanie using only the chain stitch and the slip stitch. And for this project I'm going to be using size 4 medium weight acrylic yarn. And this is just the Big Twist Value brand and the color is soft gray. I'm also using a size F or 5 crochet hook. And we're going to begin this project by attaching the yarn to our crochet hook using a slip knot. And then we're going to chain 61. And if you're unfamiliar with any of the stitches used in this pattern, then please check the links in the description because I will have my stitch tutorials listed down there for you. And once you have your 61 chains in place, then we're going to turn our work slightly. And what we're going to do is skip this turning chain, and starting with the second chain from our crochet hook, we're going to place one slip stitch in the back loop only of each stitch in this row. And so when you get to the end of your row, you should have a total of 60 slip stitches. And when you get to the end of your row, we're just going to chain one and then turn our work. And so from here, we're going to skip this turning chain and we're going to place a slip stitch in the front loop only of the stitch directly beside that turning chain. So last row, we were placing our slip stitches in the back loop only, and this row we're placing them in the front loop only. So go ahead and place one slip stitch in the front loop only of each stitch in this row, and when you get to the end of your row, you should have a total of 60 slip stitches. And when you get to the end of your row, you're just going to chain one and turn your work. And so from here, we're going to place one slip stitch in the back loop only of each stitch in our row. So we're going to skip that turning chain again, and we're just going to place one slip stitch in the back loop only of each stitch in our row. And when you get to the end of your row, you're just going to chain one and turn your work. And from here, you're going to place one slip stitch in the front loop only of each stitch in your row again. And that's just going to be your pattern for the entire beanie. So on this row, we're placing our slip stitches in the front loops only, and on the next row, we're going to be placing them in the back loop only. And we're just going to repeat those two rows over and over and over again to build the body of our beanie. And I would suggest crocheting this to 16 to 18 inches depending on the size of the head of the person that you're making this for. And I went ahead and repeated those two rows until this beanie reached about 18 inches. And in case you were curious, this is what the other side looks like. And I like to make sure that I've ended my last row so that my crochet hook is on the opposite side of my starting tail. And so what you're going to do is fold your beanie in half, and whatever side you want to be on the inside of your beanie should be facing outward right now. So this is what I want to be the inside of my beanie right here. So from here, what we're going to do is insert our crochet hook in that first stitch in just that available loop from that first row. And then working in this corresponding stitch, so this last stitch that we created in our last row, we're going to insert our crochet hook in that back loop only. Then we're just going to yarn over and drop all the loops on our crochet hook. And then we're just going to repeat that process going all the way down the edge of our beanie. So you should have a total of 60 stitches that connect the two edges together. And once you're done connecting your two edges together, then we're just going to cut and tie off our yarn. And I like to secure my starting tail to my ending tail. And I went ahead and cut a strand of yarn that is roughly 2 feet in length. And working on the same side of the beanie as my tails, I'm just going to weave this strand of yarn about every inch, going all the way along the edge of my beanie. And once you're done weaving along the top edge, then go ahead and pull both ends of your yarn nice and tight. And from here, we're just going to tie them together about 3 times. And I went ahead and secured my strand of yarn to my starting and ending tail. So now I'm just going to turn this inside out. And in case you aren't doing this along with me, this is where our seam is, so you can kind of get a view of what that looks like. And so from here, we're just going to turn the brim up like this. And in the description, I will link to my DIY pom-pom maker. Please let me know in the comments below if you experienced any issues while you were making this, and I will do my best to help you out. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Lipstick on a Rig. Thank you so much for working with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, awesome day.